Good morning, beloveds. So, had an interesting day yesterday. I had kind of a rough day on Tuesday and went home early. And I guess I was really dreading going to work. And so I did because I'm a grown up and that's what I do. And I got in there and I said something. One of my coworkers responded to me in a way that rather than de-escalating the situation, escalated the situation. I take ownership in my part of that. And then another coworker actually came at me and deliberately, not only did she deliberately say something that was intended to hurt, but indicated that she intended to continue doing it. So that's where I'm at right now. I don't want to go to work today. I don't. And I'm kind of at a loss as to whether, it's like I'm really in that place of my mental health is far more important to me than this job is. And I love my job. So it's really interesting. And yesterday, the title was What's Important? And today, the title is Look for the Good. And I admit I'm struggling. So this is where we are. So April 14th, look for the good. Our first quote is, "Nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so." And that is Shakespeare. The second quote is, "Let us seek the good and the true and believe in them with our whole heart, even though every person we meet is filled with suffering and limitation appears at all sides." And that is the Science of Mind 185. Life is an interpretive experience. It is not what happens to us so much as how we respond to those circumstances. The same intense stimuli that some people report as pain, others report as pleasure. It is we who decide what the interpretation will be. Emerson's law of compensation states that every situation contains a mixture of positive and negative. For every plus, there is a corresponding minus. We can uncover the negative if we look hard enough. We can also find the positive. Are you a good finder? A recent study of the country's millionaires showed that the most common trait that they all shared was the ability to discover good in any situation. This trait is also common in survivors, those individuals who triumph over adversity and emerge strengthened and renewed. A sincere spiritual seeker suffering from chronic illness wondered, "Why haven't my prayers been answered?" One day, in deep meditation, the reply came, "Look for the good in your situation, and you will see that the answer has already been provided." Suddenly, this woman realized that her pained body provided her a wonderful opportunity to heal herself through changing her lifestyle. She embarked on a program of nutrition, exercise, and yoga, which led to a complete regeneration. Abraham Lincoln once said, "Most people are about as happy as they make up their minds to be." Your state of mind is up to you. Choose now to look for the good. I look for the good in all my affairs. No matter what the circumstance, I find something positive that I can learn from them. In this way, I experience all events as enhancing my spiritual growth. And that is DB. And I looked it up earlier, and that is Daniel Bloch. I'm pretty sure it's Daniel Bloch. Douglas Bloch. I'm going to learn these names. But I'm only 14 days in, so 2 weeks in. And every day when I suggest to open the windows of your soul, which is a phrase that I got from Ernest, open the windows of your soul and allow the breath of heaven to remind you that you live in heaven now. That I got from Ernest, I think from the 365 book. And the advice I give is Emma Curtis Hopkins said that. Look for the good and praise it. In the midst of every situation is going to be a situation in which you can find some good. And it is up to us to do that. And some days it's going to be harder than others. And on those days when it is harder for us than others, here's the good news. We can call somebody. We can call somebody. We can call somebody who loves us. We can call somebody. We can call a practitioner. We can call a minister. We can call a really good friend. We can call, just, or there's I think it's still pinned at the top of the Facebook page. There's a phone number that you can call. And it was a program of kindergartners where you can, the kindergartners offering life advice. And one day, and there's one, I think it was number 4. If you press number 4, you can just listen to children laugh. You want to look for the good, and you are having trouble doing it. You don't have to do it by yourself. You got options. They did some research one time about the best sound in the world, and it is a baby laughing. So Google it, and it'll help. It'll help. I know it'll help. So, the power of gratitude, the power of looking for the good is amazing. And you can do it in any situation. Now, I will grant you, i.e. my experience from yesterday, sometimes you are in a situation and what you need to do is take yourself out of the situation. And then you can look back at the situation. And in this case, I did end up having a long conversation with somebody and looked at the situation. So it is what it is, right? But having somebody else to talk to went a long way to helping. Look for the good. And if you are struggling to find it, have somebody else that cares about you help you look for the good. And the good news about practitioners and ministers is that they don't have to know you to care about you. So the title is Look for the Good. And I like the fact that the first quote is from Shakespeare. Nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Shakespeare. And he's right. And he's right. Life is about interpretation. Let us seek the good and the true and believe in them with our whole heart, even though every person we meet is filled with suffering and limitation, is filled with suffering. And that's true. That's true. We all suffer to some degree. That is the norm in material reality. Especially when we create the illusion of separation from our source, which is what the next part speaks to, and limitation appears on all sides. So that is Science of Mind, 185. Feel free to go read it in context. Okay, so, and the first thing he says is, life is an interpretive experience. We get to decide. We get to decide. It is not what happens to us so much as how we respond to those circumstances. The same intense stimulus that some people report as pain, others report as pleasure. It is we who decide what the interpretation will be. That's free will right there. You can choose whether you are walking into a painful situation or not. There are everyday tasks that we have to do that are, we could consider them painful, or we could look for the good in what we are doing. And while they may not be pleasurable, at least they'll be bearable. Emerson's law of compensation states that every situation contains a mixture of positive and negative. For every plus, there exists a corresponding minus. We can uncover the negative if we look hard enough. Okay, we can uncover the negative if we look hard enough. But we can also find the positive. And it's, you hear the phrase, what else can go wrong? Why not think about what else could go right? What could go right? Prepare yourself for both. Because we do have to have backup plans when things don't go the way we expect them to do. But sometimes when things don't go the way we expect them to, they go in so much better of a direction than we could have expected. So, are you a good finder? And that's, good finder is in quotes. A recent study of the country's millionaires showed that the most common trait they all shared was the ability to discover good in any situation. It kind of makes sense, because when you focus on the good, then you can find solutions to what a situation that may not be what you want, what we would like to call a non-preferred situation. This trait is also common in survivors, those individuals who triumph over adversity and emerge strengthened and renewed. And that, I've seen some research on people who have cancer, where everybody wants to think that the positive, happy people are the ones that survive. Well, interestingly enough, the angry people do too. It's about passion. It is about passion. And so, and whatever point I was about to make, I just lost. Okay. It'll probably pop back into as we talk about the next section. A sincere spiritual seeker suffering from a chronic illness wondered, why haven't my prayers been answered? One day, in deep meditation, the reply came, look for the good in your situation, and you will see the answer the answer has already been provided. Okay, so looking for the good means we are focused on the solutions. And we are more likely to see them when we are focused on the good. Okay. Whoops. Suddenly, this woman realized that her maimed body provided her a wonderful opportunity to heal herself through changing her lifestyle. She embarked on a program of nutrition, exercise, and yoga, which led to a complete regeneration. Okay, so she was looking for a solution. She found a solution. That is fantastic. Do not think that means that that's a spiritual bypass, okay? Because there are chronic situations that changing our lifestyle will help. They may not help all the way. So don't take this, don't walk down that path of I'm not being spiritual enough if I'm doing everything and it's not working, okay? But she looked for the good, and solutions appeared. And that right there is the secret. Okay. And then he ends with the quote, Abraham Lincoln almost once said, most people are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. What we teach in Science of Mind is choice. You can choose. And sometimes the only choice you have is how you feel about a situation. Okay? So you get to choose. Choose wisely. Your state of mind is up to you. Choose now to look for the good. So, I look for the good in all my affairs. No matter what the circumstances, I find something positive that I can learn from them. Something positive that I can learn from them, because sometimes that's it. Sometimes we are going to walk out of a situation and the only thing that we can take with us is experience, knowledge. We've learned something. It's still good. In this way, I experience all events as enhancing my spiritual growth. So I'll be curious to see what the spiritual growth I'm going to get out of the last couple of days is going to be. Okay. So you want to know what your mission today is? It was right there in that last line. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to choose now to look for the good, no matter what the situation is. All right. So that is Douglas Bloch. I look forward to reading more from him. So, and then, as always, I do encourage you into the other thing, the spiritual practice that I like to talk about, which is to do something loving for yourself, to do something kind for yourself, to do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. Doesn't matter. Yesterday, after having the morning, what we opted to do was we went down to the museum and just completely distracted ourselves for the day. And it was good. And it was an exhibit that we both wanted to see. We had a great time. We talked about it. We're still talking about it this morning, although he caught me off guard completely. So, when he brought something else up and I was like, what? Non sequitur. So please do loving, kind, and compassionate things for yourself every day. It is a spiritual practice. But the more important thing is I'm encouraging you to create a habit, to create a default setting, to create a first response, so that most of the time, because we all have our moments where we don't have a loving, kind, compassionate response. Most of the time we can do that. If we can do it for ourselves, we can do it for anybody. But we deserve our own love. We deserve our own kindness. We deserve our own compassion. We do. We are beloved children of God. You are a beloved child of God. You deserve your own love, your own kindness, your own compassion. Okay? All right. So then the usual, I do encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body today. I do encourage you to go get a face full of sun, because trust me, the sun this morning, even though it was cooler, much cooler, I got to wear a jacket this morning. It helped. It helped. It's great. It helps reset hormones. It's fantastic. And then I encourage you to drink plenty of water. Hydration is very important. And open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you that you live in heaven right here, right now. It is a state of consciousness. It is a state of mind. It is not exactly a place. Because if you live in that state of consciousness, if you live in that state of mind, anywhere is heaven. And how do we find it? By looking for the good. It's what the theme is today. Look for the good. It's the theme. It's the mission. It's what we're talking about. All right, beloveds. I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a fantastic day, a wondrous day, a magical day, an enchanting day, a wondrous day, a sunny day, a spring day, a go look for the good day, a let the good find you day, a loving day, a compassionate day, a kind day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. You're a beloved child of God. And I'm going to tell you that every day, somewhere in this broadcast, because it's true. All right. If you want to know what's going on at CLC, then please email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the Constant Contact. The Constant Contact always knows what's going on, even when I don't. You can also catch us on the social medias. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We are either Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark. I am on 3 of the 4 as the running Rev Ryan, so you can also check out my social media. And Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. Know that you are loved. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.